Pranayama, Jainism and Health. This series of videos will touch on ancient secrets linking Jainism, Ayurveda, modern medicine, emergency medicine, and health. My own knowledge is minuscule, tiny. The aim of this video is not to show my knowledge, but to show the breadth of the knowledge within our own scriptures. And despite all of these modern Western qualifications, which I may have got and be going for, that progress is minimal compared to the extreme power in our roots, in our scriptures, in our ancient agams and sciences. The roots go deep, and only when those deep roots are nourished can the branches in this day and age today shine in the true sense. If we forget where we came from, we'll never make it where we're going. And truly to dive deep into our scriptures, we understand how wide that base is, and related branches of knowledge are complementary, and they can enhance our own faith and the horizons of our understanding. I know my knowledge is tiny. I know my conduct is even more minuscule. The aim of this video, however, is to show not only my own potential, but all of our potentials from this treasure that we've inherited. Health. We can talk from the aspect of health about all of these modern aspects of diet, of vegetarianism, of plant-based diets. We've talked about the compassion elements in detail. From a health point of view, we can look at Ayurveda, Sattvic, Rajasic, and Tamasic food, the effects of the taste, the virya, the vipaka, the post-digestive effect of different foods upon our digestive system, and the pathogenesis or samprapti of different conditions. We can look at this and then look at different aspects of the Jain diet as well. We can talk about potatoes, onion, garlic, gunmore, and we've talked about from a compassion point of view and the science in the Compassion for 8.4 million species video linked below. Here we can also talk about the science of the food, the energetics of the food, the effect on the mind, and the reason even Ayurveda talks about avoiding certain foods like onion, garlic. Looking at the diet level, Ahar Vigyan, I am built up. Ratri Bhojan Tyag, giving up of eating at night, and that is explained in Ayurveda as well about Vata, Pitta, Kapha. When the sun is on top of your head, your digestive fire is the strongest, and eating at night can lead to Amma, the formation of poison in many different diseases. We can look at different forms of intermittent fasting, Navkarshi, Porsi, Ektanu, Biasnu, and look at that from the point of view of science of Ayurveda and limiting the formation of these toxins of Amma and how that links to our health. Plato, Socrates, the fathers, Hippocrates of modern medicine talk about intermittent fasting as well. 1 Anjali solid, 1 Anjali liquid, 1 Anjali space, not overeating, and unodarit up. Again, understand through bringing together ancient sciences which are complementary from the same origins, and our own Jainism mentions Ayurveda to the extent that our first Tirthankar, Rushabhdev bhagwan, in many previous incarnations was an Ayurvedic physician, and the way he relieved an ancient Sadhu Maharaj Mahatma of such a terrible rog disease without harming the worm infestation that he had suffered from, and the description of how he did that, understanding dhatus and understanding where the worms would have got to, and the knowledge of hot and cold is something that today, to do in such a non-violent way that treatment, none of us modern medicine or doctors could do. I bow down to Adinath Bhagwan and hope all of us can one day become like he was in his final incarnation. Alignment of the 7 chakras up to the third eye, Ajna chakra, and the crown chakra, and the essence of yoga, meditation. We can talk about Bhakti Yoga, Gnan Yoga, and Karma Yoga, and link that to the 3 doshas of Ayurveda: Karma Yoga, Gnan Yoga, Bhakti Yoga. Karma or action through Vata, Gnan, knowledge, insightfulness through Pitta, and Bhakti through Kapha, and the inherent minds of people can be explored in much more detail than I'm even trying to allude to. Patanjali Yoga Sutra and Marma points can be looked at in this diagram here, and Marmani are an integral component of Majja Dhatu or nervous tissue. The science of Garbhasanskara or embryology is mentioned in our Jain scriptures in a lot of detail, and today you can even find books translated in English upon the subject. Palliative care or samadhi Maran, or a peaceful death, is being seen in a lot of detail today, from the times of Mahabharata, Bhishma Pitaji, to now. And science is proving core aspects of philosophy, such as reincarnation and experiments on hypnosis and hypnotherapy, music, mantras, the science of crystals, Mr. Emoto, mantra chanting, Jain biology, the theory of Darwinism, but on an individual level, where the evolution of the individual souls through time immemorial in different lives, our soul has been in each and every stage, infinite times. And the Acharang Sutra talks about how just as a deaf, blind person feels pain, so too do the mute animals and plants. If we look, the whole video we're going to do on the brain, mind, body, soul link, and we can see so many medical conditions are rooted in the mind. Today, modern medicine talks about psychosomatic illnesses, and we talk in Ayurveda about the links with the bile, pitta, the phlegm, kapha, and the air or the life vital force, the wind, prana or vata. Within that, we know certain conditions which cause one to rise in anger. The bile and the adrenaline is secreted more, and understanding this mind-body link and the right and the left brain and developing both, as in that prior video on the power of the mind, we can understand. Science today can look at the gross body or the Audaric Sharir, but even more subtle is the Tejas Sharir or the fiery body, which we have touched upon in the video on the 8.4 million species, Sat Lakh Sutra, where we talk about the science by inference of life, where this warmth and this body is one of the Tejas Sharir. Even more subtle is the Karman Sharir. And there are many diseases which we do not find the links in the mind or the body, and we think, where have they come from? And this is rooted within previous sanskars, previous lives, and getting to know the Abhamandal of the person. It's more and more difficult to study the subtle body, and ancient sages can study the Abhamandal or the lesha of a person, colors that one emits and emanates depending on one's purity of one's thoughts. And hence, in the Samasaran of a Tirthankara, even wild animals come there unafraid, sensing the purity of the person. We do not see this literally ourselves because we're not as advanced to know this, but we can sense where there is danger and where it is safe to approach. Babies can sense, animals can sense. All of this is the intuition. We can talk further about Reiki, the power of touch, and the science of that Pranayama, breathing techniques, Chandra Surya Nadi, or the left and the right aspects of the nose, and breathing meditation techniques, aura leshas, pulse diagnosis, tongue diagnosis, yoga, kaya klesh, or different postures, alignment with the 7 chakras, mudra science to avert many medical conditions, marma and reflexology points, 6 biopotentials or paryapti, that when we are born in Garbhasanskara, the different paryaptis or the vital life functions that are created, and how giving rest to these and also managing them helps in our overall health. And rasayans are mentioned in Ayurveda, how the greatest rasayan of all is good conduct or samyak charitra. We can make that alignment and ask saints about putting all of this together, because it is beyond my level of tiny knowledge, but I just want to open people's eyes to how vast our philosophy is and make some comparisons. Samaik, Pratikaman, If anger is the disease, forgiveness is the medicine. If resentment is darkness, forgiveness is sunlight. And if the mind is wounded, forgiveness has healing power. Pratikaman, if good conduct is one of the rasayanas, clearing our channels of negativities, of bad thoughts, of revenge, has to be one of the keys to good health, as the festival of Pratikaman and the daily Pratikaman, the Naukar mantra, humility, prayer, the different rags, all aspects of Jainism and health. Bhastrika, Kapalbhati, Surya Namaskar, Anuvilomana, Ida Nari, Surya Nari, the left and the right nostrils, the Surya and the Chandra, astrology, Jyotish, the technique of breathing, Shwas, and strengthening the Pran in Pranayama. All of these are touched on within our ancient scriptures, as well as many other allied faiths, and we can explore this knowledge to deeper the horizon of our understanding, the lives of our Sadhu Maharajas, Padayatra and Vihar, and this walking and this exercise in daily life and its roles on the Charipal Sangh, which we went on as a group. I got to spend a lot of time with sadhus and sadhvis, and the purity of their conduct in their lives in the 5 Mahavrats is something that can really deepen our faith in our own spirituality of Jainism. The 5 Mahavrats, of which the 4th is the Brahmacharya. Once we study Ayurveda and we learn about the 7 dhatus, dhatu nutrition, and the 3 laws of nutrition, the law of irrigation, the law of selectivity, and the law of transformation, we can understand that to get to the Ojas, the ultimate para and apara Ojas, takes many days, and Brahmacharya, or celibacy, is where the 7th dhatu of the 7, or Shukra or Tava dhatu, its product being Ojas, is the strength, the vigor, and the innate immunity and radiance within of a person, which a brahmachari develops their retentive, their mind, their spiritual, their psychic abilities to a great extent, which can maybe go some way to explaining how they can be so knowledgeable in so many different fields and so resilient. Prana, the life force, which is talked about in Pranayama and is crucial to our health. The essence of Vata Dosh from Ayurveda. Ojas, the essence of the immune system. And Tejas, the essence of Pitta Dosh, Vata, Pitta, Kapha, which are like 3 kids running in our body, and the science of this, and how disease can be arrested before it manifests, whereas a lot of our current medication is reactionary, which is useful from an emergency medicine perspective to bring person back. But what is the science beyond that? And that is a science of prevention, a science of Ayurveda, and beyond that, a science of spirituality and a science of Jainism. Thank you for listening. If I've made any mistakes in this presentation or said anything against the Jain scriptures, I seek your forgiveness. And I'll try to create dedicated videos to each of these areas, because I know that this was just a whistle-stop tour and I must have missed out many things, and I'm sure made some mistakes. If I have, and you realize and you spot them, please let me know. They were unintentional. Thank you. If we forget where we came from, we will never make it where we're going. And so let's all salute and look deep into the treasures we were born with, so that this ancient philosophy can stay alive. We can pass it on to our children, our children's children, and help with a philosophy that the world so deeply needs in the world tomorrow. The philosophy of Jin Shasan, of Jainism. Thank you. Namo Arihantanam. Namo Siddhanam. Namo Ayari Anam. Namo Uvajayanam. Namo Loye Unam Eso Pancha Namukaro Sarvapava Panasano Mangalanancha Savesim Padamam Havai Mangalam Padamam Havai Mangalam